Superman of Metropolis, the story of a young Jonathan Kent becoming his own Superman in a Clark Kent-less world, apparently. This was very science fiction-y. I've been very surprised by how little I knew was going to be in these Future State books. This one surprised me just as much as Wonder Woman did. This one was just like, hey, you like science fiction? You like hardcore science fiction? Here it is in droves. Let's get a bunch of exposition out of the beginning, and then we'll set up our little story here. First off, at the beginning of this book, we understand there's this man named Andridge Trojan who created this like cybernetic technology that can help people be them truest selves in a form of world, and they've kind of become this like cult that's been taken over by this Andridge guy. And Superman is trying to come in to stop it, but the military also got involved because with the military, they're trying to take the cybernetics off of these people and stop them from being these killers. So Superman comes in to protect the military, but the military's like, dude, what are you doing? We know what's controlling these people. It's a thing called brain cells. Maybe you should go take down brain cells. That seems like what you should do with your time, Superman. I really like the feel of this book because no one is really in support of Jon as Superman yet. They're like, you're not your father. You're not a true Kryptonian. You can't really take care of this city. Even if you want to try, you can't really do it. So we do get some more information on this brain cells thing. And what brain cells is, this is a creation that was kind of manifested when Jon and Kara were trying to take down the last Brainiac, and it kind of like became this like weird conscious robot sphere thing. There's a bunch of mouths and looks very science fiction-y, and it's like, Jon, I'm trying to protect the world here, so maybe don't let this happen. Like, yeah, I'm doing what you couldn't do because you're not your father and you're not even Kara. You're not a full-on Kryptonian, so you can't protect Metropolis. But working with this Trojan guy, I'm able to do that. I kind of like that there's that relationship between brain cells and Jon because it adds to like their story and their relationship here. But Jon's like, everyone's underestimating me. You're underestimating me too there, Sphere Boy. I know what I'm doing. So he takes the sphere. He's flying away from the military. They're trying to attack him. But Jon's bright plan is, here's what I'm going to do to keep everyone safe. I'm going to put it in a bottle. I'm going to put Metropolis in a bottle. So he does that. We see the crater come in and the Metropolis is bottled. He puts Metropolis in a little bottle like we've seen Kandor happen with Superman himself. You're like, that's kind of cool. We go back to the Fortress of Solitude, and Jon's kind of like analyzing it, and the brain cells is just talking to him with like this weird sarcastic tone. Like, I didn't think you had it in you, man. You know, Kara, maybe. Your father, absolutely. But you really surprised me here, Jon. You're being this good hero. I'm very impressed with your attitude, man. You got the entire city safe. Good for you, man. Nobody expected this from you. And I like this idea that because he's not a full Kryptonian, everybody's been underestimating him, except for probably his father, which I'd imagine is something we'll see come later up in the book. But I like that idea. You know, the city itself is like, we need our Superman, but you're not our Superman. You're a Superman in a sense, but you're not our Superman, our true Superboy that we love. And that's kind of cool. So Jon is analyzing this day. It's like, the place is safe. I can keep it safe here from the harm's way of people like you, brain cells, because you're trying to take over the minds. But brain cells is like, no, I'm giving them free will. I'm making them truest selves. You don't understand it, Jon. I'm doing the job better than you did. And as they're kind of having that argument, in comes Kara, and she's like, you know, he's kind of right. Something about that's a little interesting. And right away, Jon notices something off about the way brain cells' appearance happens. Like, he's getting a little more light, and there's like some more radiation coming off of him as soon as Kara walks in. So Kara's like, dude, you can't just bottle a city. That's ridiculous. Like, what are you thinking? And Jon is so insecure about his actions there that he's like, well, it's the only way I can keep it safe. And I kind of like that, you know? We could have easily done this story where Jon is so sure of himself and he's this big hero who's saving everybody, but it's like, no, this isn't Clark. His son has doubts. He has a human flaw in him to some extent, for a lack of a better term, that he's not really sure if he can do this job or if he can live up to the potential of his father. So I kind of like that he's feeling that here and he's not sure if he can do it. It's really cool, actually. It's a good, different kind of story than I think people would be expecting for this. So we see that the more Kara advances into the fortress, like brain cells is just getting like a little more like, oh yeah, let's do it. Then her eyes start to turn green and you realize brain cells is controlling her, and then she attacks Jon. So they're trying to like stop the city from being destroyed. Jon takes it outside where the military has shown up to bring him in. Kara's still attacking him, so the military is obviously on Kara's side in this situation, and nobody really knows how to stop anything that's going on, and there's just a lot of hardcore intensity in between these two fights, and it's just like cool. What the hell's Brain Cells doing? Why isn't anybody watching the part of Brainiac that's now a giant sphere? We should maybe worry about that. So Jon manages to get Kara to snap out of it because she's far enough away from Brain Cells. So they're like, all right, the military, we don't need to worry about them right now. We just got to go deal with whatever Brain Cells was about to do because he just controlled you. So obviously he's evil. So they go down to see Brain Cells. They're like, where the hell's the city? He has Metropolis. So yes, we see that Brain Cells has taken Metropolis. He's like, I'm going to do what my daddy did pretty much too, you know? And my daddy bottled things and kept them in areas. I'm going to do the same thing as that. So we see like a giant ship come out of the sky. Again, very science fiction-y. I like that feel a lot. And it's just like coming down to attack them. But it's also lifting up the fortress itself. So he's going to try to bottle the fortress. And you're like, that's really fun. I wasn't expecting this from the Superman book. I've been very surprised. I don't know what I'm expecting from these Future State books. But this one was really interesting. It feels kind of Blade Runner at the beginning, like if a Blade Runner universe had Superman in it, that's the vibe it gave off, and I think that was really cool. I like seeing this side of Jonathan Kent where he's like, I'm not sure if I can do the job of even my aunt or even of you. Like I'm not a Kryptonian. I can't. Is it his aunt? Is Kara his aunt? Yeah, right? That would make sense to me. Or something, whatever. But he can't live up to the potential of a full-on Kryptonian, so he's struggling to get there. I really like seeing that side of him. I thought that was a pretty cool idea, something that they've played with a lot in this story. I'm very excited to see where this story goes going forward. I like it a lot. I also really like the title Superman of Metropolis. That is such a strong name. I really enjoy it. The artwork is great. It looks fantastic. I really like the writing too. It feels very expository at the beginning, but as it picks up, you're like, this is really fun. I like this story. What I really like so far, and I've only read a couple books from Future State, is that it's focusing on the core aspects of these characters. Superman is an alien. It's steeped in science fiction. Wonder Woman is an Amazon. It's steeped in like mythological shit. I struggle to say that. I don't know why. But you guys get that, right? It's focusing in on those things, and that's really cool to see. We got a couple of backups for this book too. The first one is a Mr. Miracle backup, but it's not Scott Free, and it's not Jacob, his son. So this is a different guy named Shiloh Norman, and this is set in the world of Metropolis when it's been bottled. So like this mysterious barrier comes around, this Mr. Miracle is trying to investigate and figure out what's going on, and he's instantly attacked by these robots. And this is the story that I'm like, it's cute. I don't think you needed this to sell the book, but I like that we're getting it. Like, what other side characters in this universe that couldn't support their own book, what are they up to? And we're kind of seeing that here. So Shiloh is attacked by these robots. He's trying to figure out who they are. We learned a few things about him. Like, he's got mother box technology. He's not really... I don't think they say he's from Apocalypse, but he's got technology, and he's aware of Scott Free and Thaddeus. So it's like, okay, interesting. I wonder how that's going to look. But at the end of his story, he is kind of like about to be killed by the robots. So I guess we'll see the conclusion of that in the next issue. And then in the other one here, the other backup we got was Guardian. I'm like, cool. Guardian's a cool character, kind of. This story was pretty interesting. I don't think it's my favorite. I think out of the three of them, it's the one I like the least just because I'm like, yeah, I get it. So Guardian is kind of just like patrolling the city because Metropolis still needs a superhero to focus on them. There's this kind of villain that we're saying whose name is Honest Mary. And we cut to a flashback where we see like a couple of days earlier, Jimmy Olsen, who's still alive in this universe, he's got a beard and he's looking older, but he's still dressing the same. He is talking to Guardian like, you know, Superman will eventually come back and save us, even if we're just barely alive in this city. Superman will come and save us, whatever Superman that is. Until then, we need to keep public face, and there has to be a hero in this world, so it's better be you. You can't just retire, you have to come here and be a hero. So this proud Mary is trying to like kind of just say that she worked for Trojan and like kind of like a liberated person, like we can be free of all this stuff and yada yada yada. Guardian fights her, she kidnaps Jimmy, yada yada yada. You guys get it. Like it's just like a small story. I think this and Mr. Miracle were like 10 to 12 pages around that mark. It's like it's half a normal size story, so it's kind of fun. Like, I don't think it was bad. It definitely filled up some time. It interests me enough where I'm like, what would be going on in the city of Metropolis in this area? So I thought that was pretty cool. I gotta say, it really surprised me, and it did a lot of interesting stuff there. I liked this book. I really enjoyed this. I think this is going to be a fun read. I like that Jon's getting something different to do, and it's really exciting just to have that feeling in a book again. I really liked it. So I gotta commend the book for being something different. I think that's really fun. So, Superman of Metropolis issue number 1, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe. Good luck.